After an incredible 11-game unbeaten run, we are in 5th place in the Premier League, level on points with Manchester City in the fight for the final Champions League spots. And with the January transfer window now officially open and £77 million left in the transfer budget, there's one more player that I would like to sign to help us secure European football this season. But as ever, if you are enjoying this series so far, please feel free to like and subscribe, and let's get on with today's episode. Now, a couple of episodes ago, you guys gave me a list of all different types of players that I could potentially sign to try and improve this Brighton starting 11. But to be fair, looking at my starting 11, it's actually in pretty decent shape, with every player, with the exception of Evan Ferguson, rated at least 80 plus. Now, with Hugo Lloris in goal rated at an 82, and with the 21-year-old on loan Bart Verbruggen now getting himself up to an 80 rated, I definitely don't think goalkeeper is a place that I need to improve. Right back is another place that we're pretty well stocked with Pablo Maffeo and with Tarek Lamptey. We don't have particularly great depth at left back, but with Pervis Estupiñano up to an 83, it's going to be very difficult to find a player who can improve on him. And in central defence, whilst Lewis Dunk and Igor have formed a fine partnership at the back for us so far this season, Adam Webster is still an able deputy, and Roger Ibanez is now back match fit after a horrendous 3-month injury. In attacking positions, I think we're pretty well stocked with the likes of Evan Ferguson, Wissam Ben Yedder and Patrick Wimmer, as well as Ludovic Blas, who's been in fine form this season, and his deputy Julio Cesar and Ciso, plus new signing Harvey Barnes. I think we're pretty well stocked up front. However, in spite of Erkin Koku now firmly establishing himself as our number one central midfielder and the best player at the club at an 86 rating, I can't quite help but feel that his partner in midfielder Hood is someone that we might be able to improve on. And so with that in mind, I've decided to turn my attention to a certain midfielder from Portugal who was another one of your recommendations. With countless appearances for Sporting Lisbon, the now 22-year-old is ready to make the step up to the Premier League, and there is no better club for him to do that, as Manuel Ugarte joins Brighton Football Club for £34.9 million. He's got everything we could possibly want in a central midfielder. He's got age on his side, yet he's already rated 82. He's got high attacking and defensive work rate, and his physical, mental and technical stats are all through the roof. I think he will fit in very nicely in our starting 11 in the centre of midfield, and he's going to get the opportunity to impress right away as we head to Old Trafford for a mammoth third round FA Cup tie against English giants Manchester United. And Roger Ibanez will also get the opportunity to try and impress as he makes his return to the starting 11 for the first time in over 3 months since that horrific broken rib. Tarek Lamptey, he's been short on starts here in the second season here in this career mode, but he's hoping to make an impression today. But a ball like that was not the best start, as Solly March, the former Brighton man, now tried to release one of the attackers for Manchester United as they almost get in there, as Hugo Lloris just tips it over from Rashford in the early parts of this game. Turo Martinez twisting away from my defenders, finds Bruno Fernandes, whose shot, unfortunately for him, found the arms of Hugo Lloris. Into Ben Yedder. Ben Yedder finds Koku. Koku bursts through here. He's got space to run into. He continues his run into the box. Koku strikes. Oh, it's off the bar. Ibanez getting involved with Turo Martinez, but eventually managing to lose the ball as Lewis Dunk has been outpaced here by Bruno Fernandes, and he absolutely lashes it past Hugo Lloris with the outside of his boot to give Manchester United a 1-0 lead here at Old Trafford. Well, Roger Ibanez, on his return to the Brighton starting 11, was defending high, lost the ball and left Lewis Dunk in all sorts of problems. And Bruno Fernandes with a fine finish. Hugo Lloris no chance. Eric Ten Hag delighted. 1-0 United. Estupiñano to bring the ball forward, finds Harvey Barnes. Harvey Barnes is going to try and fire a ball in with the outside of his foot, and he was inches away from finding Patrick Wimmer, but it's headed down to Koku, tried to strike, and it was cleared away by the United defence. Lewis Dunk to Koku. Koku gives the ball away. It was a tough pass into him from Lewis Dunk as Bruno Fernandes releases Rashford. Oh, that is beautiful. And Koke, inside our penalty area, makes it 2-0. Well, again, it's more silly mistakes from us at the back as Lewis Dunk gave that to Koku in a really difficult position, and Manchester United were able to capitalise, lash another strike past Hugo Lloris and give themselves a 2-0 lead. Harvey Barnes, who's been pretty quiet so far, into Ugarte, who's also been quiet on his debut, but he's found a ball into Harvey Barnes, and he's managed to skip away from the challenge of Laird. Whips a good ball in. Oh, I think it was Ben Yedder who was inches away from giving us a route back into this game. Rashford. Oh, nice pass into Turo Martinez, into Bruno Fernandes. Oh my word. He's absolutely ballooned in over the bar. Koku into Enciso on as a sub. Enciso to Patrick Wimmer. Tries to get it back, but instead it goes to Ben Yedder, and Enciso strikes, and it's a big save from the goalkeeper. Dahoud on as a substitute for Ugarte picks it up and can't give the ball back to a Brighton player. Martinez again for Manchester United. They're looking to put the final nail in the coffin. It's Casemiro of all people who gave it into Rashford on the edge of the 6-yard box, and he said thank you very much to certainly put the final nail in the coffin and give United a 3-0 lead. And unfortunately for us, that did really end up being the last attack of the game. The Brighton players look despondent. They cannot quite believe what they've been involved in here. Manchester United have ended up putting a bad beating on us in the end. And in a difficult start to this episode, Manchester United beat us at full time 3-0. Well, I've got to be honest, I am wondering what on earth happened to us out there today. We're knocked out of the FA Cup and our final chance of silverware this season goes begging. Not the debut that Manuel Ugarte would have wanted in his new start to life in a Brighton shirt. And certainly not the performance that this man Roger Ibanez would have wanted on his return back to the starting 11. And to make matters worse, for some reason, in spite of almost playing every single game so far this season, our other centre-back Igor has submitted a transfer request due to a lack of supposed game time. And due to him only having 6 months left on his contract and refusing to sign a new deal, it means that Atalanta have been able to come in and swoop for him on a pre-contract agreement, meaning that come the start of next season, we will be saying goodbye to the Brazilian for absolutely nothing. Which makes it even more important that this man Roger Ibanez can try and find his way back into the starting 11 and try and recapture some form. But with plenty of football to play, it's time to get back on track in the Premier League, but a 2-0 loss at home to Aston Villa is not the result we needed. And with our Champions League rivals Manchester City beating us 3-1 away from home, things are just going from bad to worse. A 3-0 win against Everton, courtesy of a hat-trick from Evan Ferguson, does though get us right back on the winning horse. A penalty miss from Ludovic Blas in the 68th minute though derails that momentum, as we can only rescue a draw against Wolves. And frustratingly, United put us to the sword yet again, as it's another win for them at 2-0 this time. Fortunately though, we do finally manage to get back in the win column, courtesy of a 2-0 win away from home against Newcastle. And we are very fortunate that it was Newcastle that we beat, as they are now chasing us in 6th position, and we have fallen 3 points behind Manchester City in 4th, who have also got a game in hand on us. And frustratingly though, in typical FIFA fashion, despite being on track to secure a Europa League spot in the Premier League this season, my status with the board is now weak. And not only that, but they've also now sent me an email telling me that my job is under close observation. And so with that in mind, and pressure not just from the board but also from the media starting to ramp up once again, it is time for me to take things into my own hands as we head home to the Amex Stadium to face off against Fulham. Lewis Dunk into Ludovic Blas, who's picked up a very, very nice pocket of space. Evan Ferguson turns really nicely, finds Patrick Wimmer. Wimmer drives into the box. I'm going to try and find a cutback here. I do find a cutback, and it's to Harvey Barnes, who smashes it into the left-hand side. Another beautiful piece of build-up play. Patrick Wimmer just waited for the right moment, and he picked out his man at the far post. An unmarked Harvey Barnes, who, look at that for a strike. He made no mistake. Smashed it into the back of the net. It's 1-0 Brighton. Evan Ferguson again into Ludovic Blas. Ludovic Blas to try and burst into the box here to make it 2-0. Oh my word, he's put it wide. Hahn into Lukic, into Eze. Fulham now rampant, looking for an equaliser here. Beautiful pass. Oh, lucky for us, he's just straight offside. Ugarte skipped nicely away from the defender and plays a wonderful pass right the way over to Patrick Wimmer, who took it down beautifully, and he's got the pace and the trickery to drive away from the defender. Oh my word, I was looking for another cutback as Ugarte tried to hit that on the volley. He's won the head though. Ibanez finds himself high up the pitch. Wimmer's got a step of an opportunity to try and whip it in. Looks for Harvey Barnes. What a save. Koku into Ludovic Blas. Blas finds Wimmer. Wimmer's managed to stay onside. I'm going to again look for the cutback. It's kicked away by the goalkeeper. It's bouncing around, and eventually Fulham just about managed to get it clear. Patrick Wimmer looking for the overlap. Finds the overlap of Maffeo. And look at the space now. He can drive into it. Going to try and find Lewis Dunk at the back post. What on earth was my centre-back doing there? But unfortunately for him, the ball couldn't reach him. Oh, Ugarte skips away from Eze really nicely there. And Estupiñán can burst into space. Finds a wonderful ball to Evan Ferguson. Evan Ferguson looking for someone in the box, anyone. They just couldn't get on the end of it. Nice ball right over the top into the path of Eze now. He's going to try and play it into Traore, and Hugo Lloris is out like a flash. Harvey Barnes into Evan Ferguson. Evan Ferguson's going to go back to him, and Harvey Barnes, look at the space he's got. Surely he's got to try and find a ball in, and again, we just can't seem to find the attacker. Ruiz Oh, nice ball to Eze, and look at the space he's got. He's got ahead of Estupinian, and he fired a wonderful ball into the path of Traore. Oh, we took it down beautifully. Ruiz strikes. Big save. Tariq Lamptey on as a substitute to bring the ball forward, and look at the pace he has. The fresh legs into Enciso, another substitute. Enciso, though, plays it into Evan Ferguson, and Evan Ferguson lashes it past the goalkeeper to finally give us that 2-0 lead. Well, it's amazing what a couple of fresh legs and substitutes can do. Lovely driving run from Tariq Lamptey down the left-hand side. Played it into Enciso, who just beautifully laid it on a plate for Evan Ferguson. And when you give him that much time and space, he will make you pay. It's 2-0 Brighton. Into Enciso once again. Enciso's going to try and find Harvey Barnes, who manages to get away from the right back here. Harvey Barnes for 3. He does make it 3 in stoppage time, and the game is well and truly put to bed. Well, Enciso's been heavily involved in both of the goals, and it's another beautiful ball through, this time to Harvey Barnes. And with his left foot, he gets his second of the game. He gets our third. It is 3-0 Brighton. It's a hard-fought victory, but it's one we so richly deserve. That man Harvey Barnes, sensational with 2 goals to his name. The whole team, in fact, was sensational, and it's just the perfect tonic to get us out of a sticky situation, as at full-time it finishes Brighton 3, Fulham 0. And it is amazing just what one single game can do. All of a sudden, we are back in the board's good books, and surely now it is full steam ahead to do what we can to try and clinch that final Champions League spot. Another Harvey Barnes goal gives us a tight 1-0 win away from home against West Ham, and it's another clean sheet, but unfortunately not another 3 points as we're held to a 0-0 draw against Arsenal. It's a third clean sheet in a row though, but this time we are able to convert it into 3 points, as a first goal in a Brighton shirt from Ugarte in the first minute, and another Evan Ferguson goal gives us a 2-0 win. And unbelievably, it's our 4th clean sheet in a row, but yet again we are unable to capitalise as we round off the final game in this episode. It's a 0-0 draw against Liverpool. And so with just 6 games remaining until the end of the season, we are just a single point behind Manchester City in the fight for that final Champions League spot. Morale is high with the squad, and why wouldn't it be? As Evan Ferguson, who has been in fine form so far this campaign, has hit 20 goals for the first time in his career, and we've just got to hope that he can continue with that rich vein of form and can hopefully fire us into a Champions League spot. That is it for today's episode though. If you have enjoyed it, please feel free to like and subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you again next time for what is going to be a mammoth season finale. Thanks for watching.